Yes, Ampeg, this is the preamp pedal we've been waiting for, thanks to its IR loader or clap sim. This could be the perfect solution on stage for an amp-free setup. It sounds like an Ampeg, and when playing with it, it feels like an Ampeg. And in my opinion, both the SVT and B15 voices live up to expectations. So, does this preamp tick all the boxes? Well, we're going to go through some sounds with both voices and 3 different basses, test the included Ampeg IRs and compare them to IRs from other brands, and find out a secret feature that, to my knowledge, has not been talked about before. So stick around. Welcome back to the Wipper Bass. Let me start by saying that this is a demo unit and I'm not being paid for this review. Nor will I get to keep the pedal as I usually do in exchange for my hard but fun work I put into making my videos. Right, before we jump into details, let's first quickly talk about how this pedal is organized. There are 3 stages of sound modification that can work independently and in conjunction. First, there is the voice function that selects either SVT or B15 sound signatures. Then there's the preamp with typical Ampeg EQ, except for mids, that are now sweepable from 200 to 3 kHz instead of the classic Ampeg 5-way rotating switch. And it incorporates a compressor that, spoiler alert, has its issues. And finally, the cap sim, or IR loader as Ampeg calls it. So when all of these 3 functions are off, this pedal can be used as an active, uncolored DI box. So let's listen to what the IR loader adds to the sound of the SVT voice. And then we'll test the B15 with lots of other IRs and a Hofner Bass with roundwound strings. am particularly happy that Ampeg decided to include 12-inch cabs in its IR loader as standard. I think all 6 cabs sound great and definitely contribute to this feeling of playing with a virtual bass amp. So fantastic on stage if you don't want to bring a bass amp, and a great solution for studio work. And with the addition of the auxiliary input in both mono and stereo, and the output that serves both as headphone out and extra line out, this preamp is a perfect device for silent practice at home or on the road. The SGT voice adds the color we expect from an Ampeg device. It is an iconic sound that has accompanied us since the beginning of electric music, and today remains a standard in the music industry. So the good news is that the SGT captures this mystic fairy dust, and you can now sprinkle it on your sound. And when raising the level of grit, you can immediately hear the tube or valve saturation so typical to both voices. Playing right there at the edge of breakup is a joy and feels super nice and authentic. Right, let's listen to the B15 voice now, which I think sounds lovely. Okay, let's have a look at the diagram. So in theory, if I plug a cable from the through out to the aux in and adjust the volume with the aux level knob, I could add some dry signal. But this means I would have to use the line out phones to hear the dry signal and connect a DI box for sending the signal to a mixing console. I could even send a stereo signal. So this means I can run 2 parallel signals. Let's use the B15 voicing for a solid bass sound and the Tech21 Liverpool, which is a Vox in a box kind of sound, for the distorted guitar amp signal. Now let's do the same for a lead line with the SVT voicing and a bit more bite. Now let's mix the 2 audios and add a bit of reverb to the lead sound. So how cool is that? Unfortunately, this trick is not available on either the DI or the preamp out that, by the way, has no cap sim because it's meant to be plugged into a bass amp. But I would definitely use the line out because it includes the cap sim and my amp is super transparent, so I prefer to hear what the sound engineer is hearing because the cap sim is included in the DI out. I mean, I think up to this point it's obvious. So what do I think about the SGT-DI? I love the IR loader and it's super easy to use. You can set high and low pass filters and the volume of each cab, which I think is awesome. I have no issues with the retractable knobs on the side. Though it's true that if they pop out in a gig bag, they might get damaged as they seem a little bit fragile. I already said that this pedal sounds and feels like an Ampeg amp. When you buy Ampeg, you don't only buy a brand, you buy a sound, a reference, a myth of rock and roll, a piece of made in the USA. Oh wait. Designed in USA, made in China. This is the Infinity from Triton Lab. It's made in Estonia. This is the Shiftline A Plus Flex. It's made in Russia. This is the Darkglass Alpha Omega and it's made in Finland. This is the Trondheim Audio Devices Scar 1 bass and it's made in Norway. This is the Wittenberg bass preamp and it's made in the USA. This is the Lightstone Tube Bass 2 and it's made in Germany, handmade in Germany. This is the Sadowski bass preamp DI and it's made in New York, which I think is in the United States. You get my point, right? My wife argues that my iPhone is made in China too, but my iPhone is a tool that I have no special bond with apart from a practical one. Okay, I'm lying. I have a passionate, emotional bond with my telephone, with my iPhone. I watch YouTube videos on it, I listen to music, it takes lovely pictures, and I even watch Disney movies on it. Okay, that's besides the point. When it comes to music, it's all about authenticity and personality. And yeah, a made in the USA would make a hell of a difference to me, even if it means paying an extra 50 or 100 bucks. Also, it's big. This is the biggest preamp I have. Okay, it doesn't have an IR loader, but there are other preamps that are a lot smaller than that do have cap sims. Now, it does look really elegant with its aluminum or aluminum brushed top plate. It feels good and sturdy, but it kind of doesn't feel like a top-notch product, considering the price. Then there is the compressor issue. Listen to when the preamp is on. I don't know if it's this demo unit only, but the sound when compressed wobbles considerably, especially at a higher threshold and playing multiple notes at a time. Not that much of an issue when playing staccato single notes though. And that is definitely not good and makes this function kind of useless. Or at least to be used moderately. But again, it might be just this unit. So there you go. I'd like to thank Ampeg for sending me the pedal and allowing me to share my opinion. But I would especially like to thank all of the builders around the world that have sent me their creations in exchange for a review. I guarantee you that I'm truly humbled by the trust they put in me. You guys, thank you for your efforts. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe. I'm going to take a 2 weeks break, but I'll be back with some bass fuzz pedals, and it's going to be awesome. Bye-bye. Oh, and I almost forgot. This one is made in New York City. This one is made in Greece. And this one is made in Australia.